said it, a little bit of a three-headed monster inside the circle for the Ducks.
Spencer with the least innings out of that three-headed monster. Lindsey Grine, 86 innings pitched. Lisa Kolsky, 69 innings pitched. Taylor Spencer just 30 compared to that, but still doing her own work.
First pitch of the game, fouled back, strike one. Stevie Mead, 13 RBIs this season, 2 home runs. In the second game, yesterday went 0 for 2 at bat, went 1 for 3 in game 1 against Oregon. Second pitch, flies it out. Shallow right, and Patman comes forward, makes the catch for out number 1.
For Illinois, a problem that they had in the first 2 games of this series was not being aggressive enough early in the games. Didn't help that they got super far behind in the run count really early on in the first 2. But still, the aggression for this team definitely needs to be there if they want to compete in Game 3.
Up to the plate, Yazzie Avila. First pitch to Avila by Spencer, called the ball. 1 out, no runners on. Top of the first inning between the Ducks and the Fighting Illini. Avila, 26 games, 26 starts. Lines this one foul on the left side. Kai Luchar that is, moved left, tried to make the catch, comes up short. Villa will continue to battle, 1-1 the count.
Taylor Spencer got into the game yesterday in the last couple innings, faced 4 batters, 4 up, 4 down before Stacy Chambers came in to finish the game for Oregon. But in the brief stint that we saw of Taylor Spencer yesterday, she looked really good. And she's definitely going to try to continue that here.
Villa batting .340 on the season. Strike 2 by Spencer, 1-2 the count.
And Taylor Spencer has struggled on the year when she gets behind and counts early. She's ahead in this one right here. She's going to look for the strikeout.
Spencer. Count now even 2-2. Looking for the first strikeout today. Spencer sets, deals, fouled away.
Yazzie Avila hasn't gotten as many opportunities as you think she would like this season, but she's going to make the most of it right here.
Red shirt junior for Illinois. Two-two pitch. This one grounded over on the left side. The throw over to McCoy at first. In time.
That's a gold glove shortstop over there in Paige Sinicki. An Oregon legend, has been at Oregon for quite some time, making many, many appearances at shortstop during her time in a Duck uniform. And that's what we've been accustomed to with the Ducks. Any ground ball over there gets vacuumed up by Paige Sinicki and thrown on to first. They're gonna take a look at this, review it to see if she got the throw over there in time. But Paige Sinicki, whether she did or not, showing off the talent at shortstop.
At the moment, gonna take a review on this one, but 2 away as it stands. And how about Sinicki? I mean, first base, second base, third base, all changing this season. A very young Oregon roster. As pretty close there. The initial call was an out at first.
It's close. It's right there. It's in between a couple frames. Yazzie Avila just barely gets her foot down right as the ball looks like it gets into Riley McCoy's glove. You would think they'd uphold this out call at first, but we'll see what they do. Melissa Lombardi doesn't look like she even likes the fact that they're reviewing it in the first place, so she came out to the mound to talk with the home plate umpire. but they're going to review this one for a little bit, and we'll see what the call is.
Villa's waiting over at first in hopes that this call will be overturned, but the main question is if there's enough evidence there to overturn. Like you said, pretty close.
Looks like we're going to get the call right here. But Lily, to your point, Paige Sinicki has stayed so consistent with the changes that we've seen on this infield. First base, second base, third base, they've all rotated. And the out call is upheld.
Is upheld. 2 away in the inning. Villa out at first. But just so many changes over the years. Sinicki, just a senior leader, and continues to get that chemistry despite the changes in the lineup. And despite now the team being much younger than she is. Used to be kind of the rookie on the team.
This team has talked a lot about their chemistry. They've talked a lot about leading by example, and Paige Sinicki is the perfect example of that. She leads by example every game. She steps out there at shortstop. She's a very verbal leader for this infield. Like we've said, they've moved around a lot. Katie Flannery has started to settle down at third base next to her. It was Kaylin Jones for a good part of this season, but no matter who they have on this infield, it feels like Paige Sinicki is always a vocal leader.
Count even, 1-1. 2 up, 2 away. Top of the first for the Fighting Illini. Addison Carroll, 27 games played, 27 starts, .354 batting average.
Addison Carroll, a sophomore, was all Big Ten Freshman of the Year last season. In terms of her batting average, in terms of the results that she's gotten from her plate appearances, she is the leader of this team on offense.
1-2 count. This one, fly just forward, and Bracy Rosa makes the catch. Gets underneath it. 3 up, 3 down. Top of the first for the Fighting Illini. Gonna step aside, but we'll be back. The bottom of the first, Kai Lushar leading things off for the Ducks. First pitch to Lushar, called the ball, and Max Yergler, seeing her today inside the circle. Between the first 2 games in this series, 23-1 combined in favor of Oregon and a new pitcher.
Carly Yergler, currently in her junior season, a transfer from Parkland College, where last year as a sophomore she pitched 170 innings with a 0.86 ERA. She was incredibly dominant there as getting her opportunity in a Power 4 conference at Illinois. And she struggled last weekend to open Illinois' Big Ten Conference play against Wisconsin. She was blown up for 8 runs in her first appearance in Big Ten Conference play this season. But a huge opportunity to get it back right here.
Lushar squares to bunt. Will bring her back. Called foul. 2-2 count.
And this pitching staff, much like the rest of their lineup, is very young. A couple juniors, sophomores, freshmen, a good amount of underclassmen. And they kind of are still working to put it together. Carly Yergler, I should say, boasting a 4.6 ERA so far this season across just 38 innings pitched. But like we've said multiple times, not a better opportunity right now. The highest ranked team by far this Illinois squad has faced.
Count stays 2-2 to Lushar. Talking about the Lushar sisters in the open. Kai Lushar, 12 RBIs this season. .382 batting average. Lines this one. Foul left. Lushar battling in this at-bat. Down in the count 2-2.
Kai Lushar has the second most stolen bases out of any Division I softball player in the country. The speed is contagious across this Oregon team.
2-2 pitch to Lushar, grounded to the right side, and the throw to first in time for the first out. Bottom of the first brings up Paige Sinicki.
Oregon put up 6 runs in the bottom of the first inning in game 1 of this series, 8 runs in the bottom of the first inning in game 2 of this series. If Illinois can sit down a scoreless bottom of the first inning for Oregon, that'll give them the momentum they need to compete in this game, because the first 2 games, they got out of contention really early.
And just a nice play from second to first. And for Yergler, a pretty productive first few pitches that she's thrown in this game. Now to faces Sinicki.
Lauren Wiles got the start in the circle for Illinois in game 1. Danica Frazier got the start in the circle for game 2. Both pitchers really struggled to command the zone early. The balls that they were throwing outside the zone to kind of trying to warrant a little bit of swing and miss from Oregon just weren't working.
Sinicki squares to bunt, races over to first for a base hit. Paige Sinicki.
That looked like a mistake from Illinois. Third baseman put her glove on it as it looked like it was going to tail foul. Right at the last second, starts to tail towards the foul line. Third baseman must have thought it was going to stay fair. It's Addison Carroll over there at third base. She started every game at third base for the INI so far this season. Just makes a little bit of lapse in judgment on that foul ball. Keeps it fair, and Paige Sinicki's at first.
Sinicki goes to second for the steal. And she's safe. And you talked about it a little bit, Max. Just the speed of this Oregon lineup and just the aggressiveness in the base paths. See it there again with Sinicki.
That was Oregon's 106th stolen base of the season so far. Coming into the year, this team had a goal to hit 100 stolen bases. The most that they had seen in head coach Melissa Lombardi's helm was last year with 90. They hit 100 last weekend at Washington. That was 106 right there from Paige Sinicki. They are number 1 in all of the Power 4 conference teams across the country in stolen bases. Number 2 in all of Division I softball. This team steals bases at an incredibly high rate. And we've heard it in the past from both head coach Melissa Lombardi and associate head coach Sam Martyr that whenever one of these players gets on first base, whether they get walked, an infield single, an error, whatever it may be, whenever they get on first base, it kind of feels like a double, just because any one of these players on this team is going to steal second base. They do it right away early in counts. As you saw, Paige Sinicki steals second base on the second pitch of the following at-bat. This team steals bases at a crazy, unprecedented rate, and the way they do so has made their offense so versatile. It's put so much pressure on opposing defenses. It speeds up the rhythm of your defense. Any ground ball, any fly ball in the outfield, you're going to be that much more quick to it, knowing that the players on the infield for the opposing team are just that much faster. And it's given Oregon so much room for improvement this season on the offensive side of the ball, knowing that no matter who they have on the lineup, if they get on first base, it's just about as good as a double.
Katie Flannery in 3 spot belts it over to right field, and the catch made by the Illini, but not before Paige Sinicki advances to third. 2 away, and Sinicki on third. Riley McCoy up to bat, and how about the freshman McCoy? 11 home runs this season, which is the most by an Oregon freshman since 2007.
Riley McCoy put her 11th home run of the year into left field in Game 2 yesterday.
Grounds it on the left side, finds the gap. Sinicki comes home. First run for the Ducks, 1-0, and McCoy advances to first.
Riley McCoy said it last night. She loves the first pitch of an at-bat. She has stayed super consistent. She's a very aggressive hitter. She said that no matter what pitch, no matter where she's at in an at-bat, she's going to find the pitch that she wants to hit. But more often than not, it's come on the first pitch of her at-bats this year. And there she gets it right there with a runner on third, 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Right where the Ducks need to take advantage, Riley McCoy does it with a base hit up the middle.
A 2-out RBI for McCoy. Just incredibly dangerous player for opposing pitchers to face when there's a runner in scoring position. And Kedri Lushar has just been incredible at reaching base this season. Faces the 1-0 count. Now 1-1. 2 outs. McCoy on first. 1-0 game in favor of the home team. Kadri Luchar this season, .443, belts this one foul on the left side and ticks over the netting.
And Lily, you talked about Riley McCoy as a freshman. There was a lot of uncertainty coming into this season with how good Oregon was going to be. Across the majority of Division I softball polls for the preseason ranks, they were around 23 to 25 coming into the season. We're just barely in the top 25 of the preseason rankings, and they have done nothing but climb their way to the top. They're currently 8th in the country in the majority of Division I softball polls, and Riley McCoy, the freshman, has been a huge part of that.
This one grounded just by third base. The throw over to first in time to end the inning. Fighting Illini limit the damage to just 1 run, but Oregon 2 hits, 1 scored, going to bring it to the top of the second with Illinois up to bat here on Big Ten Plus. Spencer. The circle, this one lined to left field. Will be a base hit for Cushing.
Ella Cushing barreled up a ball yesterday in the second game of the series that Kai Luchar chased down out in left field for an incredible web gem play. This one right here, Ella Cushing, has been one of the more promising hitters for Illinois this entire weekend. First pitch she sees, gets one she likes, lines it straight in left center field. That's exactly the kind of momentum Illinois needs right now.
First hit of the game, first player on base of the game for the Fighting Illini. A swing and a miss. Jackie Yeager, 118 batting average this season. No outs, runner on first, 1 strike. Spencer. This pitch called a ball.
Jackie Yeager has struggled this year, hasn't gotten much opportunity, just her 7th game started today. Replacing the primary catcher, Paige Berkmeyer, a veteran leader on this team. But Jackie Yeager definitely has some promise.
Grounds this one and will reach first.
They're going to say Ella Cushing, the base runner on first, interfered with the ground ball that Kaylin Jones was looking to pick up. They're going to call her out right here as it just hits the heel of her foot. Kaylin Jones couldn't field it cleanly and throw on to first. They're going to call Ella Cushing out. It's going to replace Jackie Yeager as the runner on first. Runner on first base with 1 out.
So 1 out after the interference, and Debovic, the batter for the Illini. First pitch, a strike to Debovic. Gabrielle Debovic with 10 hits this season for a .208 average.
Debovic was on a bit of a hot streak coming out of their Wisconsin series before they faced Mizzou at the beginning of last week. Has not gotten a hit this weekend at Oregon. Has entered a little bit of a rut, but we've seen her go on some hot and cold streaks throughout the season, so wouldn't be surprised to see something get started right here.
The 1-1 pitch. And some aggression over on first base. Count moves to 2-1.
And Illinois just hasn't had many opportunities at all with runners on, let alone runners in scoring position. So if they can move the runner over here, give themselves a chance with a runner on second or third, it'll be a huge opportunity for them. If they can play any sort of runs here, get back into this game.
And in the second game of the weekend, Illinois recording just 1 hit already with a hit at the top of the second. 1 out, 2-2 count. Spencer's pitch to Devovic. This one lined foul. Catch made just from third. Katie Flannery, second out. Yeager stays at first.
Katie Flannery makes a heads-up play at third base. She's kind of settled into that spot on the infield. Her and Kaylin Jones kind of flipped spots. Kaylin Jones started primarily at third base to start the year. Katie Flannery was at second. They switched positions. Now Katie Flannery has started to flourish at third base, while Kaylin Jones has done the same at second.
This one lined foul down the left field line. Ellie Haggard, first baseman for the Illini. 2 RBI, 1 homer this season, 154 average.
Allie Haggard hit her first career collegiate home run yesterday. In the first game of the series. It was a 9-1 loss for Illinois, but a bright spot was Ellie Haggard's first career home run. With the amount of youth on this roster, you kind of look to get any sort of positives that you can from these series.
Spencer, 1-1, 2 outs. This one flies over right field, just bounces in. Runner over to third, rounding third base. The throw at home, and the Ducks get the out in time. Jane Sanders' crowd with exclamation, but believe that this one going to be chatted over.
This was an incredible play from the Oregon defense. Des Patman doesn't get it in as fast as you'd think she would have liked, but Kaylin Jones, the cutoff throw, guns it to Bracy Rosa at the plate. And even with the obstruction call, you got to believe that's something that Oregon and their coaching staff will look back at and highlight as a good part of this game and something that they can build off of on defense, because that's a really tough play to make in the moment. Bracy Rosa just barely had her knee too far against the plate, it looked like. Gets an unlucky obstruction call, but man, that was an incredible play from Kaylin Jones and Des Patman.
Spencer, 1-1 pitch, called ball 2. And the Ducks, it's not the first time that that's been a play this season with obstruction at the plate with a runner coming home. Happened a couple weeks ago as well here at Jane Sanders Stadium, the game Morgan was playing in, and
those are very tough breaks for a defense because those are such hard plays to make. They're such hard plays to practice. You never know when you're going to get that kind of opportunity in game to gun a runner out at the plate like that. Kaylin Jones makes an incredible relay throw. Bracy Rosa puts the tag on her shoulder right away as soon as she gets the ball. Was just barely too close to the plate.
Spencer, this pitch fouled back.
It's a tough play for the umpire to call. Bang, bang, heads-up move there from the Ducks. Just doesn't break their way, but still, you got to look at that as a positive if you're the coaching staff, knowing that your team is right there in making those kind of plays.
Full count. Mosley.
But with the outcome of the play, Ellie Haggard continues to be a really big bright spot for this Illinois team throughout this weekend. Has both of their RBIs on the weekend so far. The solo home run yesterday and the 9-1 loss gets the RBI to tie the game right here, and Illinois is already looking much more competitive in Game 3. Let that boost confidence, glass half full kind of mentality there. Obviously, much, much easier said than done, but you got to look for it as a positive. It looks like we have a hit batter here from Taylor Spencer, a rare hit batter, as Taylor Spencer never really goes too far inside like that. Looks like it'll load the bases.
Once again, umpires chatting things over, but a walk and then a hit by pitch to juice the bases for the Illini.
And this is the biggest opportunity they've seen. Illinois has seen 2 runners on once or twice throughout this entire series. They've never seen the bases loaded. This is the first bases loaded opportunity they've had all series. Just an out away from ending the inning. They're kind of playing on bot time here after the obstruction call at the plate from Bracy Rosa. If you're the Illini, we've talked about how this game doesn't count towards the conference record. It is technically a non-conference game. Still a top 10 opponent on the road. If you can pick up a win here, should spark a lot of momentum for your team moving forward, and this is an opportunity that you circle looking back.
There were 2 away in the inning when the Illini scored their first run. And now all of a sudden the base is loaded. 1-1 game and a chance for Illinois to take the advantage.
You have Stevie Mead, your leadoff hitter, coming back up. You can continue to push the lineup through. You're at the top of the lineup. We've never seen an opportunity like this for Illinois throughout this entire weekend.
Mead back in the top of the first. 0 for 1 on the day. Fly out over in the right field and a little bit of motion. And Ducks bullpen, Lee Sokolsky warming up. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Spencer 2-1. Spencer seems a little bit rattled after that obstruction call and the game tied. Just the second score, like you said, by Illinois this weekend. Now in the third game. Spencer called ball 3.
Lily, that's a great point to kind of break down. Is what does an obstruction call like that do to the pitcher? For the defense, you got to think that it kind of motivates them to make another play like that, maybe motivate them to kind of stay focused and stay locked in on being their best in the outfield. But as a pitcher, all that's doing for her is making her throw more pitches, making her face more batters, more at-bats that she wouldn't have if that obstruction call hadn't been upheld. And now Taylor Spencer, we know how aggressive she is. We've talked to her quite a bit this year about her mentality coming into at-bats no matter what the situation is. But now on a full count with 2 outs, this is a big payoff pitch for her.
Spencer. This one lined over past the left wall. Would have been a huge play if that one
Stevie Mead
stayed fair.
Just barely got out in front of that. Just a couple milliseconds away from a grand slam as she times it up just barely differently. But she got the barrel of the ball there. She hit it well, was just barely out in front of it and ripped it foul. But that's a scary hit if you're Taylor Spencer.
13 RBI this season for Stevie Mead. 3-2 pitch. Ends up being a walk, and that scores 1. Illinois now with the advantage, 2-1. When the top of the second started. And all of a sudden, now the Illini lead 2-1. 2 outs on the board. Elise Sokolsky steps onto the mound. Her first pitch of the game called a strike.
We talked about how Taylor Spencer has been so good with her command all season. Just can't dial it in right there after the obstruction call. But Elise Sokolsky is an incredible strikeout pitcher.
And a grounder, this one tossed over to home plate by Sokolsky. The bases loaded. The Illini not able to make the Ducks pay any further. That will end the top of the second. The Illini lead 2-1. Ducks up to bat. Coming up bottom of the second. Kaylin Jones, the leadoff batter. Bottom of the third for Oregon. Carly Yergler, her pitch to Jones. Scored to bunt, pulled back, ball 1.
Right here is a massive opportunity for Oregon to get back into this game. You have the 9-hole hitter in Kaylin Jones at the plate right now. You have the top of the lineup due up after her, but Kaylin Jones has the speed to make a difference on first.
Jones gets caught swinging. And for Oregon, as you see, 17 RBIs for Jones this season, 262 average. The Ducks left a couple runners on base in scoring position at the top of the inning, so an opportunity to change the momentum in this game. One foul into the stands, 1-2, but started to talk about what a victory for Illinois would mean for both sides. And for Illinois, very young roster, we've talked about it a lot, and to get a top 10 victory on the road against Oregon I would think that would have to be pretty massive for the confidence of this very young squad.
Super young squad, the youngest team in the conference. And with the way that their season's kind of shaken out right now, they've dropped to below 500 after this weekend series. A win here would be a huge confidence booster for the players on this team, and this young squad is going to just keep building chemistry year in and year out. And you got to think that even if they don't put it together the way they would like to for the rest of the season, and they don't make an appearance in the postseason, or they don't make an appearance in the Big Ten tournament, that moving forward, this is a lineup, this is a roster that you're going to have for the next 3 or 4 years with all the freshmen and sophomores that you have compiled on this roster. So a win here in this game would build momentum not only for the rest of this season, but you got to think for the rest of these players' career at Illinois. A top 10 win on the road, it would be huge.
Jones lines it over right side into the bob. Kalen Jones into the Illinois squad.
Mosley, Delaney.
Mosley over just in front of the bob to make the catch. Jones had a lot of power to get under it, and look at just this running play by Mosley.
Delaney Mosley makes an insane catch, and the momentum of this series feels like it has completely shifted towards Illinois. Oregon was putting up the offensive numbers in games 1 and 2. They were playing the incredible defense. Kylie Shar was making the robbing catches out there in the outfield. And Delaney Mosley completely shuts down what would have been a leadoff double for Kalen Jones. A huge momentum-shifting play. The Ducks could have had the top of their lineup with a runner on second and nobody out, but Delaney Mosley makes the play, the outfield play of her season thus far, cuts off Kalen Jones from getting on base. And an absolutely incredible play from Illinois. And that's the kind of thing that you circle if you're a coaching staff for the Illini and look back at it. No matter how this game ends, no matter what the outcome is, that's a play you look back on and build off of.
And Mosley, just incredible speed and extending to get the catch under that one. The Illini dugout hyped after that play. One away, 2 strikes. Turns over the order, Kylu Shar.
And you got to think for Carly Yergler as the pitcher, we've talked about how these defensive plays, we've talked about what a great defensive play in the outfield does for the pitcher. And for Carly Yergler, you got to think that just gives her even more confidence to continue to shove, not be too scared to put balls in the zone, not be too scared to throw strikes because you know that you have a defense behind you that can make plays like Delaney Mosley just made out there and right.
2-2 count. Lushar grounded out back in the first. Ducks still limited to just the 2 hits that they tallied back in the first as Lushar fouls it over past left field. For the most part, both these squads have been hitting grounders into the infield. That one,
not as much strong contact, especially from the Oregon Ducks that we saw in the first 2 games of the series. Both pitchers, Taylor Spencer started, Elise Sokolsky came in for Oregon, and Carly Yergler for Illinois has been amazing at pitching in the bottom of the zone, kind of garnering those weak contact ground balls that we've seen from Oregon. Kalen Jones is ripped to right field. That Delaney Mosley just stole was the first really, really good hit that we've seen from Oregon this game so far.
Jones rounds it over. Shortstop over to first. Throw not in time. Base hit for the single for Lushar.
We saw this yesterday. Kylu Shar hit a really hard hit ground ball to the second baseman yesterday. She legs it out for a single. We've seen her throughout her career at Oregon. Any soft ground ball in the infield, she's going to turn into a single. That's just her. That's just the nature of her game. But she's so fast that even a hard hit ground ball like that to the shortstop, that's an out 10 times out of 10 for the majority of everybody, for the majority of players across the country, but not for Kai Lushar. Her speed is way good enough to beat that out. A hard hit ground ball to the shortstop, that's a true leadoff hitter right there. And with the way that she steals these bases, we'll see if she goes right here.
Sinicki 1 for 1. Second appearance of the game here in the bottom of the third. 1-0 count, 1 out. Lushar on first. Again, the 35 stolen bases. Makes the run. Sinicki lines it over right field. Lushar round second to third. Continues to make the run. 2 home slides and a triple. Sinicki just been really one of the bright spots for the Ducks at bat today. And an RBI triple for Sinicki.
And the speed of Oregon's offense shows right there. Paige Sinicki half swings at it. She didn't even full swing at that. Kind of checked her swing, was unsure whether or not that was a strike or a ball. Pops it off the top of the barrel into no man's land. A perfectly placed hit from Paige Sinicki that didn't really look like she was expecting with that half swing. Kind of checked swinging it there. But Kai Lushar, she was going to second anyway. She was going to try to steal whether or not that was a hit.
Saw it from Lushar rounding all the way home, and despite the stellar catch from Mosley in center field, the Ducks able to stay level-headed and continue and tack on another run.
And now you have the Big Ten, last week's Big Ten Player of the Week stepping up to the plate. Katie Flannery, arguably the hottest hitter in the country right now. That's what happens with this Oregon team. You have Kai Lushar, Paige Sinicki with the speed that lead off the top of the inning, and you get the luxury of one of the hottest hitters in the country stepping up now.
Flannery grounds it over at third. Sinicki thought about it. The throw over to first for the out. Flannery.
A heads-up play from Addison Carroll at third to look Paige Sinicki back to third base right there. Hard hit ground ball from Katie Flannery. Kind of confusing in terms of what to do with it right there. And you have the runner on third that looks like she's going to try to take off for home. Addison Carroll stays calm with it, takes her time, looks Paige Sinicki back to third, makes the calm throw onto first base. That's a veteran play from Addison Carroll.
2 away. Sinicki on third. McCoy at bat.
And now with the slugger and Riley McCoy, we saw what she did earlier in this game on the first pitch of her at bat. With a runner on third base, the go-ahead run on third, you got to think that she's going to take advantage right here.
McCoy blasts it over to center field. And at center field, the catch made. The Ducks drive in a run, bottom of the third, to tie this one at 2 apiece. Going to send it to the top of the fourth on Big Ten Plus. Illinois up to bat.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Paint job. There's a great pitch from Carly Yergler, but loses the next one right here to walk Des Patman.
Patman reaches first via the walk. First walk conceded of this game by Yergler.
And a team high 25th walk of the season from Des Patman right there. We're gonna get a pinch runner situation here from Oregon.
Pinch runner for the Ducks going to be Elise Crescio. Another freshman on this Ducks squad has been utilized in a lot of games throughout the season, mostly as a pinch runner.
I was gonna say a lot of pinch running situations from Elise Crescio, but she's got the speed to make a huge difference, and this is where Oregon's speed really comes into play. Late game situation in a tie game, you have the luxury of being able to, if you're Melissa Lombardi, the head coach, you have the luxury of being able to pinch run and pinch hit players in these situations because of how deep this lineup is.
Stephanie Maake faces the 1-0 count. This pitch fouled past the left field line. And Maake grounded out back in the bottom of the second inning.
And Stephanie Maake, another freshman on this Oregon team that's made a huge impact. was a red-hot power hitter to start the year in the showcases that Oregon saw at the Mary Nutter Classic and so on, but has really struggled to hit the ball hard here lately.
Ake hits the ball hard there,
On
over
cue.
to left field, advances Crescio to second, reaches first.
That's what she's looking to do when she steps up to the plate. She's had a couple opportunities over the last couple weeks where she's half swinging at those balls. She's not really putting a full swing on those, kind of popping up to the shallow outfield, popping up to the infield, kind of getting some weak hit ground balls, but that right there is what you want to see from Stephanie Maake if you're this Oregon coaching staff. A freshman in the lineup has so much promise with her time at Oregon. To see her rip a hard hit ball into left field for a single like that is just more promise.
Maake, a player that gets the pinch runner. She's a player that head coach Melissa Lombardi just seems so excited to welcome into the squad this season. Someone that Lombardi really praised for her leadership, not just her play on the diamond. Was so successful to start the season. Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors. It's the pinch runner, 1 out. Runners on first and second with Bracy Rosa at the plate.
And Ayanna Shaw comes in to pinch run for Stephanie Maake. Ayanna Shaw, currently pinch running at first, has dealt with some injury this season. We haven't seen her in the lineup very often, but she has made a lot of pinch running situations for Oregon and Melissa Lombardi's squad. So for Oregon to have the luxury of being able to put 2 pinch runners on right here with a red-hot hitter and Bracy Rosa stepping up to the plate, this is the biggest late-game opportunity Oregon has seen in a long time.
Para RBI for Rosa earlier this weekend. Lines this one past third base on the left side. Crescio rounds third, reaches home, and Bracy Rosa advances Shaw to second. An RBI for Bracy Rosa, add another to her total.
Bracy Rosa has not missed a beat since she got red hot against Florida State in the Jane Sanders Classic. This is what we've become accustomed to seeing from Bracy Rosa. Another very well played situational RBI from the catcher.
Kaylin Jones. 0-1, had the fly out just at center field in front of the Bob on the opposite side of the diamond in the third inning. 1-1 count, 1 out. Shaw, the pinch runner, at second. Rosa at first. And the Ducks back with the 3-2 advantage in the fourth inning. Gergler, pitch to Jones. Low for ball 2.
And now a very similar situation that we saw Oregon into before Kaylin Jones and Delaney Mosley's incredible catch out in right field. You have the 9-hole hitter coming up right now with less than 1 out. Kailu Shar looming on deck.
Shaw goes to third for the steal. Rosa advances to second, and Shaw tried to reach home instead. Tagged.
A very chaotic turn of events right there. Ayanna Shaw tries to steal third. The throw from the catcher gets errored into the outfield. Ayanna Shaw probably thought it got back into the wall. The left fielder makes the catch right there. Guns are out at the plate. Ayanna Shaw had to have thought that ball got way further down the line than it actually did. But a heads-up play. A little bit of an awkward play, but most definitely a heads-up play from Stevie Mead right there to throw out Ayanna Shaw at the plate. Melissa Lombardi doesn't like something she saw.
Wow, I mean, you said it, Max. Chaotic. Good way to describe that one. Rosa does advance to second, but now there are 2 outs with Jones.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts for the Ducks. You sacrifice an out for just moving Bracy Rosa up into second base. You lose a base runner. Ayanna Shaw would have been a really heads-up play if she came home and scored right there. Just the ball didn't get far enough into the outfield on the errored throw. A little bit of a miscue from Ayanna Shaw, but not much you can really blame on that. Definitely a heads-up play to try to get to home there.
Would have advanced both Rosa and Shaw with 2 runners in scoring position. Instead, 2 outs, a full count. Jones faces Kailu Shar on deck. Payoff pitch. Jones lines it foul past the left side.
And now here, right now, we have a massive moment in the later stage of this game. If Kaylin Jones can get on base right here, you have the top of the lineup coming up for Oregon with Kai Lushar. If Illinois can sit them down right here, they can get into the top of the 5th inning just down by 1, I should say.
Jones fouls it back. 3-2, the Ducks advantage.
You got to think Carly Yergler has to stay aggressive right here. The walks have really hurt Illinois leading up to this game in this series. Staying aggressive to Kaylin Jones right here could be a huge payoff moment for Illinois.
Jones fouls it back once again. Long battle at this at-bat for Kaylin Jones. 3-2, 2 outs.
And Lily, we can feel it. The tension is most definitely starting to build in this game. Even after Oregon just takes the lead in a moment like this, 2 outs and a full count, with the top of the lineup looming on deck, this is a huge moment.
Jones draws the walk on the full count. Does turn the order over to Kai Lushar. Jones on first. Rosa stays on second. 2 away in the inning. Ducks stay alive.
And now it just becomes even that much more of a dire situation if you're Carly Yergler. Your team's down by 1. You want to keep them as close as you can. There's still a runner. Bracy Rosa is still in scoring position, but you have an extra base runner on first base now. You're facing Kai Lushar, one of the best contact hitters in the country, arguably the fastest player in the country. And she's a slap hitter. Kai Lushar gets her wind up in the box and covers so much of that plate. Even a ball low and outside, high and inside, no matter where it is, if it's just barely on the corners, if it's just barely outside, Kai Lushar can get to it and put contact on the ball. We've seen what she does with balls on the infield. Even if it's a hard hit ball on the infield, Kai Lushar will turn it into a single. One positive for Illinois here is that you do have a force out at every base.
And Presley Lawton comes in to pinch run for Rosa at second. Lushar, first pitch, 2 away, 1 ball.
A force out at every base besides home plate, I should say, but any ground ball thrown to second, third, or first will result in a force out. So Illinois has to be vigilant right here.
1-0 pitch. Lushar fouls it back, strike 1.
And Carly Yergler, she is just absolutely sliced and diced her way through this game. Is only sitting at about 77 pitches in her pitch count right now. Both Lauren Wiles and Danica Frazier were both north of 50 pitches in the first inning alone of their starts yesterday and the day before. So Carly Yergler has really settled in here.
2-1 count, 2 away, runners on first and second. And Yergler, the 5th pitcher for Illinois this weekend against Oregon, has given up 2 walks, but both of those walks coming in this inning with the RBI.
And she has just completely cut down on the pitching traits that really hurt Illinois in the first 2 games. The walks, Lily, as you just said, the only 2 walks that she's issued have come in this inning. Her pitch count has been low. She's done a great job of commanding the corners inside and outside of the strike zone. All things that Illinois has struggled with in the circle leading up to this moment.
Lushar gets contact, lines it to center field for the 3rd out of the inning. Yergler escapes with 2 runners on. Ducks leave a pair stranded, but lead 3-2 heading into the top of the 5th on Big Ten Plus.
However you want to look at it, there's a very solid argument to say that Lindsey Grine is the best pitcher in the entire country in Division I softball, and she has been absolute nails throughout her innings this season.
Transfer for the Ducks this season, 1-0 count. Skolsky just allowing 1 run, that last one, the homer by Haggard. And a swing with Mosley at bat, swinging strike, 1-1.
And Lindsey Grine has been primarily a starter for Oregon this season, but the games that she has relieved in, she's come out and been absolute nails. Her last relief appearance, or one of her last relief appearances, came last weekend against the Washington Huskies, where she came in faced 7 batters, 7 up, 7 down to finish the game in the last 3 innings. And Lindsey Grine looks to give the Ducks a much-needed boost in the circle right here after Ellie Haggard ties the game with a big swing.
1-2 pitch, fouled away.
And Lily, we were just talking about Taylor Spencer and how good she's looked throughout her freshman and sophomore seasons. It's just so easy for her to get overlooked when you have Elise Sokolsky and Lindsey Grine ahead of her in this bullpen. This Oregon pitching staff is so good, and Taylor Spencer has been nothing but great. But when you mix her in with Lindsey Grine, Elise Sokolsky, and these other pitchers that Oregon has had during her time, it's easy for her to be overshadowed sometimes.
Count even at 2-2, mostly. Followed by Stuyvesant in the order, and then Mead. Turn things over. Swinging strike. Lindsey Grine steps inside the circle. Right away, gets an out.
Much like Elise Sokolsky stays aggressive, putting her fastball in the strike zone and trusting her defense behind her, Lindsey Grine does the same thing. Goes up top with the top shelf heater right there. Gets a swing and miss for the first strikeout of the inning.
1 away in the inning. Grine pitching the full 5 run rule innings in game 1. First pitch to Stuyvesant. Strike. And Grine allowing a pair of hits in that game. Had 1 run allowed and then 3 strikeouts. Grine sets 0-1, deals, fouled back, 0-2, 1 out. And Max, something that the Ducks team has talked about throughout the season, especially early on in the season, they use the phrase taking strain from one another, especially this pitching core. And Sokolsky allowing the homer, Grine coming in looking to finish things off.
100%. And a couple weekends ago, to that point, Lily, Elise Sokolsky said that this pitching staff is a family within a family, that whenever one of them has to bow out of the game for whatever reason and pass the ball along to the next pitcher, they're taking strain from one another. They're playing as a team. They're pitching as a team. They're one solid unit as a pitching staff. It doesn't feel like there's real competition, a fight over innings, if you will, between the starters, between Elise Sokolsky, Taylor Spencer, Lindsey Grine, Stacey Chambers. We saw her yesterday. She's working her way back. Rowan Thompson. This Oregon bullpen is a very well put together unit, and they're a team, and they love playing with one another.
Grine. Next pitch. Called low. Ball 3. Full count. 1 out. No runners on.
And I think the chemistry and the togetherness that we've seen from Oregon all weekend, which has been working for them, is what we're seeing from Illinois today. Lily, you mentioned it last inning. The Illinois dugout is loud. They're rambunctious. They're on their feet. They're cheering for one another. We haven't really seen that much in the first 2 games simply because they didn't have an opportunity to play competitive softball after putting themselves out of contention super early on in the game. In a situation like this, they tie the score in the 6th inning with a solo blast. They get another runner on here with less than 2 outs. This dugout's on their feet. This Illinois team is starting to really gain some valuable experience in terms of the chemistry that they're building against number 8 Oregon on the road.
Rosa over by the Ducks dugout. Stevie Mead. It's the
top of the lineup turns over for Illinois. A huge opportunity. Depending on how this game goes, if Lindsey Grine can shut it out potentially the last time, you'll see the top of the lineup. Obviously, if you're Illinois, you're going to try to bat around and keep that lineup moving. But here in the top of the 6th inning, you're not guaranteed to move the lineup around in the 7th inning when it gets there. So this is an opportunity that you have to think about taking advantage of if you're the Illini.
0-1 count. Stevie Mead 0 for 2 today has the runner on first. Grine, since coming on earlier in this 6th inning, swinging strike and then allowing a walk. Sokolsky, leadoff batter, Haggard. Sokolsky conceded the homer to tie. 3-3 game. Grine. Pitch low. 1-1. Mead. Again, 0-2. did get the walk in the second inning. It's not recorded a hit yet. Draws contact. McCoy moves off first base to get the catch on the foul out. Second of the inning. 2 away. Still the runner on first. 3-3 brings up Yazzie Avila.
Softball is a game of inches and a game of centimeters at time. And right there, pop out down right field. Riley McCoy goes over there to make the catch. It's 2 outs for the Ducks. A huge move for Lindsey Grind, but just barely off the top of the barrel and what could have been a huge swing for Illinois.
Called ball 1. Avila 1 for 3, a single back in the 4th inning. 4th at-bat of the game. Pitch low and on the run. Stuyvesant advancing over to second. 2 balls, no strikes. Now a runner in scoring position for Illinois with a tie game.
That's a huge moment in this inning. Lindsey Grind, changeup it looks like, just falls, just barrels out a little bit too low for her liking, gets away from Bracy Rosa, the catcher. Bracy Rosa really didn't know where that ball ended up behind her at the backstop, allows the runner to move to second. And now a well-placed base hit could take the lead.
Grind gets the swinging strike. Nice response after the wild pitch.
And you can tell that Lindsey Grind is looking really fired up right here after that.
Game face by Grind. Contact over past the left field line. Kai Lushar racing past left field. Gets the catch on the foul outs. Kai Lushar, how many times have we seen that from her? Ducks end the top of the 6th. Just a look at that.
If you hit a softball anywhere near that left field foul pole, Kai Lushar will catch it. What a play from Kai Lushar, a momentum shifting play.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Past Carroll to reach first for the leadoff single. Patman walked in her previous at-bat back in the 4th inning. Was grounded out in the 2nd.
And Carly Yergler, she's been absolute nails on the corners in the sides of the strike zone that she's been pitching to all day. But right now, in this moment, that's needed from her more than ever. Anything over the heart of the plate to Des Patman could very well go over the wall.
2-0 pitch to Patman. 3-0. Maake and Rosa due up for the Ducks. 3-3 score. Kedri Lushar at first. Patman 3-0 count. Called for strike 1.
She knew it too. Great move to stay on the red light right there. If you're Des Patman, potentially get walked, put 2 runners on with nobody out. But if she gets a good pitch to hit right here, Des Patman's got to take advantage.
Patman grounds it over by shortstop. Lushar over to second. Gets the out, and then Patman. What a play by Illinois in the infield. Just look at that.
If you're Illinois, it's plays like these, it's moments like those that have just got to refresh your mentality towards this entire season. They've struggled in every facet of the game leading up to this game in Game 3 today. And right there, biggest situation of the day, bottom of the 6th inning, you get one of the best power hitters on Oregon's lineup to ground into a double play right there. And the way they turned it, Stuyvesant turned it super well, gets the throw onto second, gets the throw onto first. In Illinois, this freshman lineup, this young team filled with newcomers is just continuing to build their chemistry, and it's plays like those that have got to really spark a lot of confidence in this coaching staff.
Maake 1 for 2 today. Stuyvesant, Debovic, Haggard, 1 out, 2 outs. Double play. Maake flies this one center field, and the catch made.
How exciting is this? We got a tie game going to the 7th.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
The Ducks defense with an amazing play to end the top of the 6th inning. Kai Lushar with the catch over with the swinging strike. Grind able to get an out on the board. Top of the 7th. Just a key play. Catches Cushing swinging.
An emphatic strikeout from Lindsey Grind, too. You saw how fired up she was to get that strikeout right there on a low fastball at the knees. She climbs the ladder really well with that fastball. She commands it super well, and she can go anywhere she wants with it, given the hitter that she's facing.
Grind again. First strike for the at-bat. Yeager, 0 for 3 on the day. And starting to say before the swinging strike from Grind, just the defense, nice response in the 6th after the homer. Runner on first.
A common theme, a common similarity between both these teams today is that they haven't let their mistakes get too out and far ahead of them and kind of pile on and snowball into more mistakes. Whenever Oregon, as you just said, Lily, give up the home run to Ellie Haggard to make it a tie game, their defense comes out, responds really well, holds it where it is, keeps it a tie game. Illinois has done a very similar thing when they went down 3-2 after the Paige Sinicki triple. Responded super well to tie the game. Both teams have done a very good job of mitigating their mistakes.
0-2 count, 1 out. A grounder over to third. Flannery throws it to first. Riley McCoy catches it for the 2nd out of the inning. But now a runner in scoring position on second. Carroll.
And Katie Flannery came up with that ground ball, immediately looked like she was going to go to second to try to get the double play, realized that the runner on first is too fast to turn that play. Heads up play from Katie Flannery to get 1 out at all. You'll see a lot of third basemen in that kind of situation make that throw into second. Runner's safe there. Runner at first is then safe there. Huge opportunity for Illinois given that play. But Katie Flannery, she guns out the runner at first base to get 2 outs. But Lily, to your point, dangerous runner in scoring position right now if you're Lindsey Grind.
Debovic at bat, 0 for 3 on the day. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And if Debovic's able to get through this at bat, bring up Haggard, who was the leadoff batter back in the 6th inning for Illinois that scored that run to tie. This one fouled back, 0-2.
With the way Ellie Haggard has swung the bat here at Jane Sanders Stadium this weekend, was nowhere near the hottest hitter in this lineup coming into this weekend series, but you could make the argument that she is the hottest hitter now, given what she's done on the weekend. So for Lindsey Grind, really got to get this strikeout.
Grind. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Carroll on second, 0-2 count. Debovic prepares, Grind deals, fouled back. Grind with 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed in her 1 2/3 innings pitched. 8 hits today by Illinois. More than doubles they recorded in the first 2 games. Grind, another K, puts the Ducks in good position. Bottom of the 7th coming up, in Oregon looking to get the walk-off. Game tied, 3-3, Big Ten Plus. Up to bat for the Ducks. Rosa, Jones, Kai Lushar due up for Oregon. Rosa, 3 RBI this season, including 1 in this game back in the 4th inning where she singled. Last plate appearance, Rosa blasts this one. The crowd on its feet. It's over the wall. The Ducks win. Bracy Rosa, a home run. How many times have we seen that this season at Jane Sanders Stadium? This Oregon crowd, just absolutely electric.
First pitch swinging, Bracy Rosa walks it off. Are you kidding me? After all the adversity this team has faced today, they crushed it all weekend, blew out the Illinois Illini in the first 2 games of the series. The first competitive game of the series comes down to Sunday in the bottom of the 7th inning. After going back and forth all day in a competitive barn burner at the Jane, Bracy Rosa walks us off with a solo blast on the first pitch. Absolutely incredible.
A walk-off home run. Bracy Rosa loves to play at the Jane. As soon as that one left her bat, this entire stadium knew that it was gone.
An absolutely incredible moment for the Oregon Ducks, an incredible moment for Bracy Rosa in her career. We've talked about the storyline she has been all year of stepping in for Emma Cox at catcher. Her bat has been incredible. She started off her career last year at Oregon pretty cold at the plate, has absolutely responded recently, and that right there is the cherry on top for Bracy Rosa. A solo home run to walk it off. They sweep the Illinois Illini to end the series, to end the weekend. And Oregon softball is on an absolute tear right now. What a better way to end it.